how's it going? It's That Nerd Ryan here, and I have some news. So, it turns out that the MCU has had non-human biologicals hidden in it since 1990. And that these non-human biologicals have been among them in that time with far advanced technology that shuts off my light. I'm actually going to leave that in because that was pretty funny. Maybe I'm not getting a light on this? There we go. Sorry. But yes, they have invaded us secretly in the MCU for 30 plus years. If you guys haven't noticed, I am going to be reviewing Secret Invasion today. I just figured with what recently happened in Congress would be funny to introduce it that way, which I do find it interesting that that hearing came out literally days before Secret Invasion's finale. So, first off, let's address the elephant in the room. This kind of was a show that nobody wanted, really. Maybe Nick Fury fans wanted, but they should have just redone Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in basically everybody's opinion. Sorry, I'm making sure the light stays on. But yeah, so basically in everybody's opinion, it should have been more of a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing than Secret Invasion. And this show was mediocre at best. I just want to say that at the beginning so people know how I feel. There's a plot twist in the show that is a plot twist for the whole MCU that isn't really addressed in the show, but is addressed by I think it's either the writer or the director, that ruins a lot of important moments from Infinity War, Endgame, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and even this show altogether. So, let's start out with the plot. So basically this is a in-between show for Captain Marvel and the Marvels. Nick Fury's been off Earth since Endgame, basically. And during the time, the Skrulls kind of came over and about 1 million of them took into becoming human. Some Skrulls were upset about that, so they started making a resistance with their leader Gravik, who started experimenting and making Super Skrulls. They infiltrated high positions in the human hierarchy. I want to say it like that because it's not only political positions, it's around everything. They even turned into a single superhero, being Rhodey, which that is the major content here because we find out through the director or writer, I can't remember who, how long Rhodey has been a Skrull, and it's been since Civil War, which is very disappointing because that means that we didn't actually get to see Rhodey witness Tony's death, conversations that he's had in Infinity War, Endgame, and Captain America, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that are very important moments for their community and Rhodey altogether, means nothing, basically, at that point, because it's not actually coming from him, which is extremely disappointing. But anyways, so Nick finally comes back after realizing that, these rebel Skrulls are building up more and more. We also catch up with Talos, whose wife has passed away, and daughter has joined the rebellion. The daughter, Gaia, is played by Emilia Clarke, I have a feeling she might actually show up in the Marvels or have some sort of interaction with Monica Rambeau because they became friends in Captain Marvel. So I have a feeling that's going to be something that we'll see. But yeah. Anyways, in this we also get to see Maria Hill for an episode, who dies at the end of the first episode, which stinks because she was a great character. But yeah, so after this we have to see Nick kind of help Talos put together everything on how to stop Gravik from each like world-ending event that he tries to pull, which is it's basically the plot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in a sense of like Makarov trying to set off a nuke, trying to start a war between Russia and the US and everything like that. It's basically the same story. It's just replace Maverick with Gravik. And also shape-shifting in the show too. But yeah, so that is like kind of a cool factor for this, is you never know who's who, because Skrulls could be anybody, and they kind of use that to a good advantage in the finale, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, so it goes from that. We also have another character popping around that I honestly did not catch her name, because she's kind of like, she's in the show as an important character, but she's like, I think she's the head of MI6 or something like that, or she works for MI6, and she's basically like Dolores Umbridge, but like boring, I guess is the best way to put it. She ends up helping, like kind of creating like a British shield with Emilia Clarke, or with Gaia at the end of Secret Invasion, and like that's the only kind of important thing she does in the entire show, is set up for something else, which that's what the show really suffered from, was setting up other things or closing other things that really didn't need to be closed, like Rhodey being a Skrull. I'm fine. I will say, I would be fine with Rhodey being a Skrull if it was after Endgame, like even if it was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm fine with that. It's just the fact of, oh, it's been since Civil War. That's not right. But yeah, stuff like that, and like just kind of, honestly, like I think I said this for either Miss Marvel or She-Hulk, where it's like I kind of like did not look forward to Wednesdays. I think I said that with She-Hulk because they're doing Andor at the same time, whereas like I'd much prefer watching Andor over She-Hulk. This had no Star Wars show to double up with it, so that's like a big thing of like, I actually enjoyed Miss Marvel a lot. I thought She-Hulk was okay, kind of mediocre. This show, it was literally like, do I have to open my Disney Plus app up just to watch this week? Which is sad, because like I really like Samuel L. Jackson. Ben Mendelsohn's one of my favorite actors. Emilia Clarke's great. And this story, I just didn't care. And it's not like superhero fatigue or whatever. It's more, this story was just not interesting. Because, in effect, nothing big really changed in this story besides losing Maria Hill and introducing Gaia as, like, Super Skrull, basically. And that's about it. And then killing off Talos, which I thought was the worst decision, because, again, I love Ben Mendelsohn, everything he's in. He honestly was my favorite character in this show, but killing him off kind of ruined it for me, because it was like, okay, Talos isn't in this anymore, why do I care? I mean, I do like Nick Fury, and I like that they revealed that he has a wife. That was another big thing. But, like, why do I care afterwards? Because, like, nothing, honestly, at the end, really changed. Besides those three things of losing Talos, Gaia becoming Super Skrull, or whatever they're going to call her, and Maria Hill dying. and then Nick Fury having a wife. So 4 things. When you have like a show that's supposed to be a continuation of a character, like even though Falcon and the Winter Soldier wasn't the best Marvel show, a lot happened into it where Sam filled the role of Captain America. We got U.S. Agent. We got all this other stuff that was important to MCU lore. This show, it literally kind of felt almost like it could have been a special, you know, like it had the energy of a special, which I thought was a disservice. It's a cool concept for a show, great actors all around, but it felt like a footnote. And that's like kind of how I felt about the whole show, and I went into it with, I don't want to say high expectations, but I went into it thinking that it would be at least good, and like it was mediocre at best. So anyways, really quick, the finale we'll cover really quick is basically Rhodey kind of traps the president, or not Rhodey, tries to trap the president into starting World War III, and the MI6 lady and somebody else are basically taking out all the Skrulls, or all the people that are working for Rhodey, to lead to Rhodey. At this time, Nick Fury, or who we think is Nick Fury, is meeting up with Gravik to basically try to stop the fight, which happens, ends up being that it's Gaia, so they both get every superpower, and the fight lasts like 5 minutes, not even. Gaia ends up killing Gravik, and then Fury was the one that was stopping the president from doing World War III, and that ends. That's how it ends, basically. Except the president announces a war against all Skrulls. Which, actually, the way they say it, I questioned it, because he goes, anybody that's not from Earth, we are at war with. And I was like, okay, so all the Asgardians? If any of the Guardians of the Galaxy besides Peter Quill stop on Earth? Let me look really quick. Yeah, we got Asgardians covered. Anybody from the Quantum Realm? Any Sicarian? Like, literally, so that was poorly worded. And, like, that they're not going, I don't see a way that they're going to show, like, people chasing after Skrulls in the movie, that you're in the movies. That was another thing. But yeah, so honestly, I'm going to have to give Secret Invasion a 5 out of 10. Mediocre for me is like a 7 out of 10. So this is very low. I kind of want to give it a 4, so let's go 4.5 out of 10. It's just very missable, and I didn't really care much for it. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and follow me on all my social media down below. It's that nerd Ryan, signing.